Yeah, but I have updated the red-black sacrifice list. I think it's a good time to circle back here. I put this together for like the second day of Streets of New Cap being legal, and we were 9-1 with this list. I ended up making a couple small changes where we're playing the 4th Ob Nixilis, and then we're cutting this we cut the 2nd Tenacious Underdog for the 4th Ob. I think you just want 1 Underdog at most, maybe not even playing the first copy, but we're still on 1 for now. Just kind of circling back after going 9-1 last Thursday. I like this hand though. I've loved Unlucky Witness. This card has been like my maybe it was my favorite card, I guess, and then they printed Ledger Shredder. Let's see. I probably want to Thoughtseize on turn 1. It's a bit close. Alright, take the Charm. Why do you not play Consider in Shadow Build? You could play Consider. I think, Tainted Indulgence is a cantrip. I don't think in the blue-black Shadow decks you want to be super duper cantrip heavy. You could play them though. I definitely considered them. The old no attacks here in the burn deck. Probably just a misclick. Hoping my opponent doesn't get Delirium. You can Unearth Grist, yeah. We played a bunch of this Jund sacrifice deck that does Unearth Grist. Burn matchup's probably not that good. I think we did beat it the other day. Channeler looking good still. See if they find Delirium. Puts me down to 13. Keep a card on top. Is it maybe the version of Blue-Black Shadow's a little threat light? Seems like swapping Wraith for Bauble and dropping Indulgence for Legendary would be worthwhile. You could do that. You could do that. Yeah. You could. You would just have to play test it. I think that when you're threat light, but your threats are Murktide Regent and Death Shadow, though, it's okay because your threats are like the most resilient and game ending by themselves. Like one Shadow, one Murktide each easily can end the game by itself. So I'm not sure I felt like the deck was necessarily threat light. Okay, they find Delirium. Unfortunately, we're dead. No outs. We fetch Grid on the 3. We have no way to kill the Channeler. Just dead. I'm going to cut these Thoughtseizes. I'm going to bring in the 3rd Kroxa, which is a pretty good card in this matchup. 3 Terminates. Click Submit. It's going to spec Cat, Oven, Squirrel. I like that deck. Yeah, you can build this deck to be more in on the Cat, Oven synergies. But I think with the Ob specifically, you kind of want to be playing more generically good cards, like kind of like the more Jund Sac philosophy, where each card. Oh yeah, the Ob. Oh, that's right. We won this matchup from the life gain from Ob last time we played it. Void Mirror for Rift Bolts. Too narrow. Not sure if that's a real suggestion with all those question marks. How's Burn in this format? Burn is good in this format. Why do you not play 4 Blackcleave Cliffs? We have 3 Den of the Bugbears, which actually end up making your Blackcleave Cliffs a decent amount worse than you might expect. I think I'm getting Blood Crypt on turn 1, so I can cast the Bloodghast from my hand if I need to. Is DRC better than Guide? I felt like it was when Lurrus was legal, because like you kind of wanted to play Bauble, DRC, Lurrus. I think DRC is great in Burn. I've always been super impressed by it. There's definitely a big camp of players who don't like it very much. Way good in like these kind of matchups specifically, but it's also true that these kind of matchups are not that common. Okay, so I'm gonna attack and my opponent never blocks here, right? They never ever block here. We're DRC worse here against the Bombardment. And then I get to go Swamp, Bombardment, ping the Channeler, trigger the Witness. Land might be nice to find. Why no Ledger Shredder and Blue-Black Shadow? We've talked about this endlessly today. You have to play both Shredder and Bauble, and we've had. I think the way you would fit it is you cut the Tainted Remedies and you cut the Sorry, you cut Tainted Remedy and what was the other card you cut for Taint? And something else. We've already established this to add. Oh, and Street Wraith. And Street Wraith to play Shredder and Bobble. And that's fine. You can build a deck that way. We've talked about it endlessly. But I wanted to test the Tainted Remedies, which are also, I feel like, pretty viable. Okay, so Urborg, Seasoned Pyromancer on top. And if you think that version's the better version, you know, I do encourage you to test it. Obviously, it's still pretty early. Could you have killed DRC in my instep? This goes until end of turn, right? Or until your next instep. Okay, yes. We should have done that to deny the Surveil then. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna go Urborg, Unlucky Witness, Bloodghast. Definitely would like to find an Ob. We can dig for it with the Unlucky Witness, hopefully. What are my considerations for Turok in the sideboard of this deck? Turok's not super synergistic. This is a very synergistic deck. You could play it, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, this is something I feel like I've said my entire streaming career. I've tried to hammer this point home, and I feel like maybe I just haven't done it enough, or maybe this is just every Magic Twitch chat, but I've considered all of the cards that get suggested. It's very rare for me to see any suggestion that I haven't like very seriously considered. And so if you're going to suggest adding a card, it is so much more helpful to suggest what card you want to cut for the card you want to add. Like, I've considered Turok in this list. I've considered I've considered Ledger Shredder in this shadow deck. I've considered it all, and it's just so much more helpful to suggest what cards you want to cut to make room for the card you're suggesting. And I do think it is just kind of Magic Twitch chance that's just not the culture for whatever reason. But it'd be great if we could make it the culture. Bloodstained Mire, Seasoned Pyro. So I think I want to go Mire, Ping, Kroxa, Witness. It's like the Kroxa trick on the stack. The Boros Charm, Dead to Them had 2 burn spells, obviously, but pretty likely to kill them next turn if they don't have that. I was asking for your reasonings. I was literally just asking. Yeah. I'm not talking to just you, Carter. I'm saying, like, I'm talking about, like, every other comment that's happened today. I'm not trying to just single you out. Like, again, like, I feel like this point was maybe kind of clear, but maybe I'm doing a bad job articulating myself. But my point is, like, these are the questions we've been getting a lot today, and so it's just I'm just saying it's more helpful to, if you're going to have these suggestions, suggest what to cut instead. I've said this multiple times today. I've said this probably every day of my streaming career, and I'm just trying to hammer that point home because it's more helpful to me. I'm not trying to single you out. It's, you know, it's just all day, every day, right? Yeah, I wouldn't take it personally. Okay, so Seasoned Pyromancer is 4 damage, and then this is going to be 3, 4, 5. All right, so let's just sack the Unlucky Witness. If we see a land, I think that's just lethal. Unearth is lethal. Should be at least. Ghast had haste. I didn't have a land to return the Ghast. I mean, I'm attacking with it anyways. I'm confused what the suggestion is there. We have lethal. We found the lethal line. Last turn? Well, it only had lethal last turn after we did all the pinging and stuff, which was contingent on our Unlucky Witness finding us the land, right? Which wasn't definitely something that we wanted to do. Like, it didn't have, so and like we also like lose the ability to attack with the Unlucky Witness and only get paid off if the Ghast ends up getting haste. based on us finding like Bloodstained Mire off the, like exactly Bloodstained Mire off the Witness, exactly a red fetch land. The turn you played Witness, you missed the attack with the gas. Yeah, I think you guys are wrong. I could be misremembering, right? Like again, I only get to drop my opponent to 10 if I hit a red fetch land off the Witness, which I think it's just better to attack with the Witness instead. Unless the yeah, the Witness wasn't summoning sick. Yeah. Could have attacked with the Guest now. I did attack with the Guest. I did attack with the Guest this turn. I think it's possible to hammer point home to Twitch chat. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know. But you would just think with like the amount that I say this specific comment that someone would suggest cutting a card for, or what card to cut a card they're suggesting. You just think it might happen once. And Arco with the 2 months, thank you. Is Cryptic Command worth picking up for Modern? There's not too many decks that like you want to play Cryptic Command in, so I think that if you're gonna want to buy Cryptic Commands, like you have to know that you want to build like specifically just Sky Lotus Field or a like Wilderness Reclamation deck that wants to play it, rather than just like picking it up as a generic Modern staple, because it's not like a generic Modern staple anymore. I wasn't certain Turek. I was asking why I wasn't a sideboard when he's in every other redback sideboard. Yeah. I answered your question, Carter. I answered your question. Like, it's not super synergistic in this deck. I think you already have a good blue-white matchup. And that's why it's not here. Like, I wasn't trying to single you out if you felt that way. I do apologize. But that was not my intention to single you out. So I think they have Path to Exile, so I think I should just... I don't really care about the 3 damage. I do care about resolving this Ob. I'm just going to do this now. And then I think because I have Mayhem Devil in my hand that can gain me life, I'm just going to plus both Obs this turn. How do you think Leisure Shadow be in Reanimate strategies? There's 2 mana. I think it's an option. I don't know how good of an option it's going to be end up being. It has like really different like deck building restrictions. Like Reanimator decks usually have higher curves. Shredder wants you to have lower curves. I think that people like tend to overrate looting effects in the Reanimator deck too. Where like you obviously need some of them, but the reality is like you usually have like 5 to 6 good cards to loot away, so it's not like every loot ends up being that good usually. Okay, Mayhem Devil should be game over if my opponent doesn't have removal spell for it, and they tap out, and Ob getting to gain 4 life here, it's just over. It's a cute synergy to have Mayhem Devil plus Ob. I think this was somewhat intentional. Is Feed the Swarm worth a sideboard slot? No, again, the idea here is that you actually have like a decent amount of ways to play through a Rest in Peace, right? Like you can play through a Rest in Peace with your Obs, with your Ragavan, Seasoned Pyromancer, Den of the Bugbear, and your card quality is just like generally pretty good. And I don't think that you need to play like a pretty weak card like Feed the Swarm to beat Rest in Peace. Like there are decks in Pioneer, I'm sure, that can play Ob and Chariot, and you have a small synergy, but like you're basically winning the game any amount of the time anyways when you get to, you know, attack with your Chariot and resolve a 3-mana Planeswalker. This is not like a synergy or anything like that you should like look to be building your deck around, in my opinion. What's the ideal matchup for Fulminators? Tron and Titan are the main 2. You also want to bring them in usually against Living End, and you usually want to bring them in some other like random combo matchups. They also work well with the Unearths, of course. Plains Portable Hole. Well, let's get 2 Unlucky Witnesses in there. Kyle with the 8 months, appreciate you. Yeah, it looks like obviously blue-white affinity. And then T-Bane with the 21 months. Very good. Min might here. I think that I'm just playing my Mayhem Devil and not just YOLO attacking the witnesses this turn. I love Your Red Fires List for Pioneer, so I leave the Cairns, push it far out of budget. Is the deck playable without Cairn? Without Cairn, you lose a lot of your equity in the combo matchups, which I personally view to be a big problem. You can, you know, you can figure out a way to build a deck without Cairn, I'm sure. I'm not sure exactly the direction I would go, though. But you definitely can. I'm just not sure the best way. Alright, let me check with the witness here. They're probably just never block, right? Yeah. But then I've got a second witness. Obviously, Goblin Bombardment is by far the best draw. Ob Nixilis is a really good draw. Seasoned Pyromancer is a really good draw. Usually Urza Saga plus Shadow Spear is tough for these decks to beat. We do get a Mayhem Devil trigger off the Urza Saga. So Springleaf Drum does let them go. Make a Saga token, tap Smith for Thoughtcast, potentially, if they have that. Okay, I'll just play a second Mayhem Devil. Blood Crypt. Pass. How do you build the Asmo Greasefang deck? I don't know. I feel like... I wouldn't say the deck's unplayable, but I do feel like the deck is lower power level than a lot of other similar strategies. Frost, Band Control, Pioneer, Yorion, not... Yeah, if you post a link in chat, I'll take a look. I feel like for the most part, you should be playing Yorion in your Band Control lists in Pioneer, any control list in Pioneer. Was there not a consideration to ping Witness for new looks? I guess that was a line that I missed. I mean, I think this turn I'm going to be able to chump block, though. Don't know that we'd be able to come back from this. I think I'm blocking with both. I'll try to find a Bombardment here. I think that's the card that, like, potentially being the very key word, gets us out of this. Okay, Seasoned Pyromancer into Bombardment. Probably still not good enough. Play it out, I guess. XJB, sync for the tier 1. I like Endless Detour a lot in Pioneer, actually. I'm a pretty big fan. I'm historically not a big fan of Faithful Absence. I think the card is generally pretty weak, and I think Endless Detour solves a lot of problems for you, where like now you can actually get Planeswalkers off the field, which is definitely like the issue you had, and like why you want to play Faithful Absence. I also think that it should be pretty easy to add Yorion to this list, playing like I would play 4 Narset, 4 Omen of the Sea, and then increasing your ratio of lands to spells. At that point, I think makes it not that difficult to just add the Yorion. I think Yorion adds a lot for you in your Pioneer control decks. How are we sideboarding here? Don't have any dedicated affinity hates. It's probably fine not to. I think I'm gonna cut the Tenacious Underdog, 3rd copy of Ob, and then they usually are pretty good at getting access to graveyard hate, so I think I'll cut the 2nd Kroxa, play the 3 Terminates. Oh, second link is Yorion. I see. Thank you. Yeah, I would cut the Faithful Absences, and I would just probably play 4 Typhoons over any Absence. I think Typhoon's good. I think Typhoon helps you pressure Planeswalkers. That's the main thing Absence does for you. If you feel like your curve is too high, if you do that, then you can play Portable Hole instead. But I'm a Faithful Absence hater. Yeah, you potentially just move 2 Portable Hole, do 2 Portable Hole main, 2 Portable Hole side, and then 3rd and 4th Shark Typhoon in the side as well. I think that would be fine. I like the rest of the sideboard a lot too. I feel like every card I see here, to be honest, I think this list looks like it's had a lot of time and thought and care put into it. Big fan. Magus, the 13 months. I think I'm going to mulligan this. This hand needs a Bombardment or Seasoned Pyromancer so badly, but doesn't have a 3rd land. It's kind of awkward. This hand's kind of awkward too. Probably have to keep on the mulligan to 6 though. Put back 2nd Terminate, play Den. Stupid Esper Sentinels had my number all day. I think I'll just cycle the Unearth here. Why not board Chalice on the play? I have a lot of 1-drops in my deck. Chalice of the Void, usually when you see Chalice in the sideboard of modern decks, it's here as a hedge against specifically Cascade decks. I think this is really common. You'll see Chalice in my sideboard. You'll want it to play against these decks. Chalice on 0 is not that good against blue-white affinity either. They play very few 0-drops. If this was like colorless affinity mono blue, you could consider Chalice on 0. Here, like I'm not even. It looks like they have Midnight, but they did play Midnight game 1. Oh, brutal portable home. But yeah, they're usually very light on the 0-drops. Okay, not the worst draw. I don't have any. I don't have any artifacts to hit. Yeah, I don't think I'm just going to play the 2-mana 1/1. I guess it does grow off the Ragavan, but I think I'd rather just hold up to Terminate here. Likely going to terminate the Ingenious Smith. Do we like this or the Pox version? I've liked... this version has had the better record overall. But I've only played that one league with the Pox version. We may play that one again at some point. Wow, kind of surprised they attacked when they know I've got the Ragavan. Although playing Bombardment, Bloodghast, and then killing the Ingenious Smith is pretty appealing too. If I dash the Ragavan first, I don't get to do that, so... Let's take this line. There's the deck list. Was there another deck tech redeem that I missed? I don't see it in my logs. I can just assume you did. What a good draw. Give me a second. I'll get to it. Okay, so their Saga token is going to be a 4/4. If I attack with both of these, they block the Ragavan. I sack Bloodghast, bring back Bloodghast, sack Bloodghast, and then they don't get to equip Shadow Spear to their Saga token, which definitely feels like a priority to me here. And I do expect my opponent to get Graveyard Hate off the Urza Saga. I think that's going to have to be fine. Okay, so here is playing Cauldron Familiar, Asmo Disciple. I've worked a decent amount on these like Time Sieve, blue-black food variants. I haven't liked them that much overall. I think you're going to find that there's tension between Cauldron Familiar and... oh, they got Springleaf Drum instead. I think you're going to find that there's tension between Cauldron Familiar and Time Sieve, where like you're always sacking your food tokens, and you're not. The only way you get extra food tokens off that is to have the Academy Manufacturer in play, and Academy Manufacturer is, you know, admittedly like a really fragile card. So like, I think you're going to find that there's tension here. Yeah, Ledger Shredder actually seems like a great addition. I love that suggestion. I guess I just like Shredder Anywheres, but... Okay, it's an interesting pickup here. I think I'll just kill the Sentinel now. I mean, I guess reducing the affinity doesn't matter all that much. My goal is to try to take these guys out with the Sokenzan, if I can, and then like this is going to be smaller, but I probably just need to draw a Terminate no matter what. And then they had Thought Monitor off the Smith. We're pretty dead. All right, 1/1 in this league. Ooh, maybe have the turn 2 Ob sacking the Ragavan. Yeah, I've never heard anybody pronounce sieve differently. How else do you pronounce time sieve? Pretty sure I can get basic mountain here. It's bad if I draw exactly Bloodghast, but I can just play Bloodghast on turn 3. Civ? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced sieve over here. My opponent suspends Lotus Bloom, so we should be playing against Tamashii combo. We did draw the Bloodghast. Civ is correct. Is it correct everywhere, or is it just like, you know, pronounced differently in different regions? Probably. Thank you for the 9 months. Appreciate you. Alright, turn 2. Double has one to play. Does feel pretty good. Has Shredder overperformed my initial expectation of the card? If so, why? It did. It has performed better. And if so, the why is because I didn't realize it triggered on my opponent's spells. I thought it was good enough without triggering on opponent's spells. Triggering on its opponent's spells. I think the card is crazy. Okay, so Bloom isn't coming down to next turn. It may be good to just get a couple of Devils into play this turn for my Goblin Bombardment. I think I like that. And then this is going to let me kill a Tamashii. The sequencing? What sequencing did I do poorly here? Deck tech for Fungus Brain and Uncontested Gaming. We'll get to these. I also need to use the restroom, so I'm probably going to have to do that before we do these. Have I tried a Jumpox version, only Marty with Lingering Souls? I haven't tried a Jund version. I guess is the idea of green Renin 6? Could be interesting. Has Trader's Best Gen Charm as best cards in the set. I haven't actually been playing that much with the Jund Charm lately. I want to play some more with it. So my opponent lost 2, then they discard Otawara. My opponent might be dead here. I'm attacking them for 2 down to 8, and then I play Mayhem Devil, and then I have 3 damage per Devil, damage from Verdant Catacombs, damage from the Bombardment. So I think we have a turn 4 kill here. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. This is definitely the kind of draw you need in the Lotus Blue matchup. I'm also going to bring in my Voidwalkers. Chalice of the Void isn't that good against them because they're okay if their Lotus Bloom gets countered because they just get to bring it back from Tamashii. Could bring in Terminate for Tamashii. I think I mostly want to like go down on some of the sacrifice synergies, be a bit more interactive. I think on the play, I'll play Fulminator Mage. I think I'm going to leave them in the sideboard on the draw. I might cut the Terminates on the draw. Cut like second Kroxa, second Bloodcast, third Unearth. Then on the play will be more on the Fulminator Mage Unearth plan. Maybe I want to go down an Ob actually. I can see that being correct. And then Untested Gaming, I remember seeing you post your link in the chat. I'll take a look. Yeah, let me go down an Ob actually. Maybe I'll play 2 Kroxas still. Why Void Mirror over Damping Sphere for big mana? Void Mirror is not in the sideboard for big mana. It's for Cascade decks. Fulminator is in the sideboard for big mana. Sorry, I didn't mean to slam the door that loud. Definitely keep this against Tamashii combo. Sanchez with the 8 months. Thank you so much, buddy. And then deck tech for Untested Gaming. So we'll get the deck techs going too. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Turn 1, Stomping Ground into the unbeatable Arboreal Grazer. I might actually be terminating an Arboreal Grazer this game. It's a Sultai Murktide deck with Ice Fang, Shredder, Murktide, Grist. Okay, so I'm not that interested in putting Ledger Shredder in a deck without Mishra's Bauble. I kind of feel like I think it feels pretty mandatory to me to play both those cards together. I have yet to see I think a list that I'm pretty content to just play Shredder without Bauble in Modern and Pioneer. Obviously, the format's lower power level. You can afford to do it that way, but Shredder is just so much more powerful in a deck with Mishra's Bauble. Mishra's Bauble doesn't cost you that much to include. I guess if I'm going to sack this to Ob next turn, I could just hold up the Terminate here. No, I should Terminate now, because then next turn I can cast the Ob and hold up Terminate, because Ragavan's going to give me 2 extra mana, theoretically. I also don't love I think just cutting the... It's tough. It's obviously like there's some tension here. Like, one thing, your Ice Wings are pretty awkward, where you're playing 2 tap Snow Duels in a deck and a Triome in a deck that really hates to have tap lands. And a lot of times you're going to get the Triome on turn 1 anyways, and your Ice Wing is just never going to have Death Touch. So I feel like I'd be playing Tarmogoyf over Ice Wing, playing 0 lands that enter the battlefield tapped, playing Mishra's Bauble, which also helps power up your Tarmogoyf, play Consider over Thought Scour, cut all the Planeswalkers so you can make room for your Mishra's Baubles, cut your Assassin's Trophy, that card's not playable. You can play 1 Decay, but you don't have to also. And I guess those are my notes. For the main deck, at least. Okay, Goblin Engineer. Get Lotus Bloom for the graveyard. My opponent has Tamashii in their hand. They're at 9 life. If I attack, they're blocking with the Engineer every single time. If I terminate, I can go terminate the Engineer, kill it, but I feel like I just have to hold up the terminate for Tamashii. So let's go attack with Ragavan, trade for Engineer, unearth the Ragavan, hold up the terminate. Yeah, Restless Leopard seems pretty fine overall. I feel like I'd probably be playing like the 3rd Veil of Summer over the Narset. I probably wouldn't play Necromentia. I probably wouldn't play Damnation. Those cards are fine though, if you feel like they are pretty important for your like overall matchup spread. We'll do the other deck tech in a second. Yeah, Necromentia is like mostly for Cascade decks. It's good against Tamashii. It's good against Titan. Like you can play it. It's fine. Like some people tend to favor it like a lot more than I usually do. They play tap Spara's Headquarters. 3 cards left in their hand. They did have to Elodarmi's Call for Tamashii, so I'm hoping they don't have another copy. I'm probably sucking Unlucky Witness to Ob here. Okay, well there's 1 less Tamashii in their deck. Gonna sack like this so I can play a land off the Unlucky Witness potentially. Don't know how relevant this is. But I can also find a Thoughtseize, which just seems pretty nice too. I find another Ragavan and a Kroxa. I guess, do I cast the Kroxa first? Does it matter? I guess I should plus the Obs first, because like there's a higher chance that they discard, that they're gonna discard a land to the Kroxa. So they discard Leyline of Sanctity, which I'm happy that they discarded that to Ob and not Kroxa. Then I cast the Kroxa, leaving them with 1 card in their hand, and I've got 2 Obs in play, another Ob in the hand, which can be 2 more triggers. Kroxa in the yard too. They discard Temple Garden going down to 2 life. Their other Lotus Bloom comes off suspend. They only have 1 card in their hand. Like, they have to have a Tamashii in order to have a chance. They have to, like, Tamashii, like, cantrip into something for Colossus. Okay, there's Elodarmi's Call for Tamashii. Cast Tamashii off Lotus Bloom. Tap Fountain, draw a card off the Tamashii. And then, yeah, then if they have a Colossus, they have a good chance to win. And they have a lot of redundancy for the Colossus, too. Interesting. Yeah, I'll finish this deck tech after this this game. Wait, they tutored for Omnath. They tutored for Omnath instead of Tamashii. That's kind of wild. I think they're just dead. Oh no, they get to gain life off the Flooded Strand. So they discard Basic Forest. So if I go make them discard, they go down to 4. I play second Ob, and then they gain 3 life here. So it's probably just better to escape Kroxa. Put them down to 4. Skip Kroxa, put them down to 1. Tense game for sure, but why did they get Omnath here? Tamashii seems so much. They're just like one, like they had like a decent number of outs to just kill me. I feel like this Omnath is. Why did they fetch kill Obs? Oh yeah, they were supposed to fetch and kill my Obs. Yeah, I think they messed up. It's like they still in order to win this game, they still need to go Tamashii, top deck Tamashii now, and then top deck a cantrip or a tutor for Colossus, right? And like they should have just done that last year when they definitely had the Tamashii instead of needing to go runner. And here they can get the Tamashii, but they don't have the mana to activate, so we should be good. I mean, consider any build where you can sacrifice a 7 power creature for ultimate. I think all of those builds are pretty win more and unnecessary in order to like actually, and in order to actually win the game for you. Although I'm gonna sack this Kroxa for the 6 loyalty power one. But if you have a 7 power creature in Modern, you don't also need to have like a 3 mana Planeswalker resolve to win you a game. I know I could tap differently to cast the Voidwalker. I don't need to cast the Voidwalker. They're dead. Alright, tune 1. I'll keep this on the draw, the blind. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's best. You could also do something like 3 Stoneforge Mystics, Batterskull Cauldron, no Sword of Fire Ice. I don't even like love Sword of Fire Ice here in the first place. And then you could put the 4 Voidwalkers in the main deck, and then you could do something like got the 3rd Prismatic Ending, 3rd Inquisition of Kozilek. That might be a good way to build it, or maybe do something like I'm not a big fan of Kaya's Guile. You could cut the Kaya's Guiles to fit that in there, and then your sideboard opens up a decent amount, and you can play like 4th copy of Turok in the sideboard. You might want to play Fulminator Mage too, or maybe you could main deck. I guess you probably can't main deck the Vindicates actually. What are we doing here? I think I'm taking the Karn because if they hit like exactly Ren and 6 off the Oath of Nissa, it's awkward. I'm not sure what they're doing exactly either. They just go Yorion in the hand. All right, let's get the Goblin Bombardment down. Next turn I can maybe go Thoughtseize Bloodghast and then play Ob on the following turn. I know these have been like a lot of loose thoughts. I've messed around like with these shells a decent amount. I think that last fan of 3 Stoneforge Mystics, Cauldron, Batterskull, no Sword of Fire Ice, cut the Kaya's Guiles, move the Voidwalkers to the main deck is the direction I'd go. Tab with the 16 months. I think I said thank you, but if I missed, let me know. Okay, so let's go Thoughtseize. Opponent's hand is Counterspell, Solitude, Yorion. I don't think I care too much about the Counterspell or the Solitude. So just play my Bloodghast. Unless you're going for something fancy, Blinds at Hope Depot, not that expensive. I want, ideally, I want somebody to come out and install them, because like I think if I install the blinds, I'll probably mess something up, and I also think that I want them to be professionally installed. But I actually had the Home Depot people. They were supposed to be the ones who come out to install them, but they are not. Yeah, let me just Ob here, I think. And they just not counter either half. Blinds are pretty easy. I'm a bit worried that the measurements are going to be weird, though. Like, the measurements on the windows, right? Like, I had some friends who installed their own blinds, and they said that they thought they did all the measurements right. They messed it up. I could be wrong. Like, if they just take too long to come out, I could just try to knock it out this weekend or something. Oh, they didn't have blue. Okay. Didn't realize that. Open a sideboard for 4th Turok and 3 Fulminator. Yeah, well, if you have the Vindicates on the board, maybe you don't need the Fulminators. You could maybe do something like play 1 Chalice, 2 Void Mirrors, and hedge against Cascade decks. Obviously, it's 4 sideboard slots. The world's kind of your oyster. But I think I'd be inclined to hedge against the Cascade decks in this metagame. I don't know how I want to sideboard here. My opponent's playing some kind of like Banned Brew with Karn the Great Creator, Oath of Nissa, Yorion. I think I'll just play third Kroxa over the underdog. Click submit. I installed my own a few months back. They're pretty easy. Just make sure you're measuring correctly. Okay, maybe yeah. I'll try. I'll see if I can get them to come out any earlier. And if not, I'll probably knock them out this weekend. Interesting. Well, hopefully we can ping the Arbor Elf with Unlucky with the Bombardment next turn. Yeah, there are two builds of Dimir Shadow you can do. You can do the version we had with Street Wraith Tainted Indulgence, or you can play Shredder and Bauble over Street Wraith Indulgence, and that could be the better way to build the deck. I'm not sure yet. Well, Bombardment's looking good against my opponent's draw. We're going to, I guess, not attack anymore. Actually, should have attacked first. Just pinging my instep. These cards will stay around till my next turn. We get just land. Yeah, at the very least tonight. Tonight I have like a lot of Channel Fireball stuff to do. So if I knock out like my video and my article and my playtesting tonight, then maybe we'll I can do some blinds tomorrow. Okay, it's a fairy bounce, pretty good here. Play one of my two Bloodstained Mires. Then I'm not sure what we're doing. I could just cast the Ob. I think that could be fine. I might actually set up for a Sokenzan. I might do something like replay Bombardment this turn. The next turn, channel Sokenzan, attack both of my opponents to fairy, and then sack one of these guys, kill Arbor Elf. And then I could track the other one to the Bombardment. That could be good. And then I can also potentially leave the Mire available to just go like Mayhem Devil, sack Mire, kill Arbor Elf if I feel like that's a better line next turn. Can you respond to Ob between the copy entering and the original? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So if you want to like lightning bolt an Ob in response to the original copy coming down, you can. Karn, okay. Do you indulge in Shredder and consider make the Soulflare archetype interesting in Pioneer? Maybe, yeah. Devoted Druid Luxier. I think that's a good thought, yeah. That's what they're on. I think I'm going to wait on the Mire. I may still want to Mayhem Devil. Okay, so I can go Ragavan Dash, hit them, then channel Sokenzan for 3 mana, or cast Ob. Yeah, I think I like Ragavan Dash, hit them, cast Ob. Oh my gosh, the stupid Karn. What a punt. What a punt. Yeah, should have just cast the Ragavan and then casualtied after, you know, not hitting them for 2. So they're going to needle my Bombardment this turn. Then the Bugbears maybe going to be my play for next turn. Pressure the Planeswalkers. We'll see what happens. Try not to tilt off too much. Or just cast Rag, then channel Sokenzan, clear Karn. Yeah, maybe that line's better too. At the very least, like obviously I just missed this and makes my turn like worst possible. Consider playing a Jund version of this deck. You could play a Jund version of this deck. I think, but at the very least, like my thoughts are like, what you want to splash green for in this deck are like a Collected Company and Grist, and then I kind of feel like Ob replaces Grist, and then Collected Company is worse when you're playing Ob, right? In theory, at least. Yeah, I think I'm gonna fire up the den. Yeah, Collected Company is like, oh, I could have also gone Kroxa, trigger on the stack channel, Sokenzan, but that line is a bit worse with that line's a bit worse with the Bombardment being needled. But I think I'll put Karn to 1, this to 2. Just not let them get the draw if it's a fairy. Maybe that would be fine to let them get the draw if it's a fairy. Any Grixis list with new SNC cards like Obs and Shredder? I've been playing Grixis Shadow with Shredder. I think that's been pretty good. Okay, love that they're ending the token. I think that's a pretty good exchange for us. Tireless Tracker. What in the world? Okay, Mayhem Devil is pretty good against Tireless Tracker. Okay, so I mean, I was gonna go Mayhem Devil, cast Kroxa. Kroxa triggers pings the Karn. Maybe it's better to go Seasoned Pyromancer first. Set up for a better turn overall. Maybe it's still better to play the Kroxa. Escaping Kroxa next turn is not that bad. I guess they do have the minus on the Mayhem Devil, which is kind of awkward. Yes, maybe I actually want to go Seasoned Pyromancer, discard Kroxa, Blood Crypt, and then I could maybe just cast the Ob here, actually. Because the Devil's pretty bad into Fairy. And then I think I'll make a Devil. Needle. Did I say anything about sacking to Bombardment? Or are you just responding to chat? Oh yeah, sorry, someone just went in chat. Yeah, maybe I said I've been aware that Bombardment's needled. I've been like misspeaking card names like crazy today. You seem tired today. I am tired today. But it is a cardinal sin to tell a streamer that they're tired, right? Would Shredder be good in random? But you have to build a deck differently. Shredder has deck building restrictions. You have to have your curve low. It's about Kroxa sacrifice being card. Yeah, Kroxa has a sacrifice trigger. Kroxa has a trigger when it enters battlefield sacrifice that does trigger off Mayhem Devil even without Bombardment. Kroxa just naturally sacrifices. Yeah, I'm not bothered by it. I am objectively tired. It's usually though on days where I feel like I'm like focused, engaged, and energetic, and someone in chat goes, "Spike, you're so tired today." I'm like, okay. But on days like today, I'm not bothered. When I am like super tired and I've been drinking coffee and I'm mispronouncing names and all over the place, but I'm also not bothered being tired after moving and doing all this house stuff and I'm like behind on everything. No offense taken. I guess we'll leave the Seasoned Pyromancer in the yard, and then I can go Mayhem Devil, escape Kroxa, ++, gain the life off the Obs, or I think it's better to channel the Sokenzan though. I think it's better to channel Sokenzan so I can kill the Karn, or pressure the Karn rather. And this gets discounted, of course, because of the Kroxa. What's the opponent playing? We're not sure. It's some kind of weird Bant brew. Does Legend Ruling land? Yeah, Legend Rule does not trigger Mayhem Devil. I'm not sure the exact text, but it's not sacrifice. If you sack include an Anvil that trigger tracker, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, I've liked Ob way more in this Rakdos deck than any of the Gen decks. Padaboom with the 2 months. Thank you. Esper Shadow with Opt and Shredder. I was thinking about Esper Shadow earlier, but I would be more interested in like playing Unearth and Ranger Captain. You would play Consider over Opt, kind of no matter what. Ooh, Prismatic Ending's nasty here. And they plus on the Pithy Needle. I am like really eager to find anything that can let me sacrifice so I can kill that needle. I'm so eager. Okay, so let's go Mayhem Devil. Mayhem Devil then plus. No! Okay, so if I unearth the Mayhem Devil, I'm not going to be able to trigger this. I think I have to unearth the Seasoned Pyromancer. Take the cards. Alright, cast Seasoned Pyromancer. Opponent loses 2 life instead of discarding a card. I'm going to kill the Karn, cast the Ragavan, I guess. Pigs, thank you for the 7 months. Appreciate you. Pretty good turn overall, of course. Wouldn't have been best to not play land in case you draw a fetch from Spyro. Well, I would have had to draw a fetch land plus unearth, right? Because like, how else am I triggering the Mayhem Devil? And then, I mean, you usually want to play your lands so you can get max value off the Spyro. How could you kill the Needle? They turned my opponent's Needle into a 1/1. So if I drew like a fetch land, and I could, or an Ob Nixilis, and I could just, or a Kroxa, and I could trigger the Mayhem Devil, then I would get to kill the Needle and unlock my bombardments. Yeah, you can't kill the Needle with the bombardment. But the Devil was theoretically how we could do it. But then they countered my Devil, and I didn't draw any way to trigger it anyways. I'm new to Modern. What's the ratio of fetch lands to physical targets people usually play? It's different for each deck. I've actually written an article on Channel Fireball kind of talking about selecting your lands for Modern decks. I would recommend giving that a read. It's like, I think it's like 3,200 words or something. Hey, Blue Black Shadow Go. We 5-0'd the first league, then we dropped the next 2. Did feel like a lot of run good into run bad, which is always like... Whenever I feel like I'm playing a new brew and I run really well into running really poorly, I have a hard time evaluating the deck overall, because it's just like you have like a lot of like variance and it's hard to like figure out like what your matchup spreads overall are going to look like and how competitive the deck is going to look like overall, all that stuff. Okay, pretty good draw, obviously. I think I'm just sending everything on my opponent at this point. How does this deck manage to stay in the void? That's a good question. Kind of the theory behind building the deck this way is that a lot of your cards are just actually generically good and can hold their own without needing like lots of graveyard synergies necessarily. So like you can just cast Seasoned Pyromancer, cast Ob Nixilis, cast Ob Nixilis, cast Ragavan, hit them with Den of the Bugbear, kill them with Goblin Bombardment. Leyline of the Void like stops your Witness triggers, your Bloodghast from coming back, you can still cast Bloodghast, your Kroxas from escaping, you can still cast Kroxa. But at the end of the day, it is not the end of the world if your opponent has Leyline or Rest in Peace. Those are beatable cards. Yeah, Earth Cycles too. Not that those cards are bad against you, but they're not the end of the world. That's your plan against them, at least. Is the land oracle free? Yeah, that one's on the pro side of things. I mean, you know, I spent a long time on that one. On all the deep dives, very, very deeper dives. I will also say the CFB Pro stuff, I don't say this often enough. Like, if your goal is to purchase Magic content for the most efficient price possible, CFB Pro is the best price. At $5 a month, you get access to my pro articles, Reduke, Martin Yuza, LSV. It's just like sick the amount of value you get for like that $5 a month, and then you also get like a huge like reservoir of knowledge. Yeah, the conspiracy board did survive the move. Oh, I'm assuming it did. It's in this box. The conspiracy board is in this box. Maybe we'll do like an unboxing or something at some point this week, and see if it survived. But it's in that box, presumably, assuming the movers didn't perform a crazy art heist and steal the collage. Are there CFB exclusive videos? I believe all the videos are on the YouTube channel and for free. Although I've actually suggested, like doing more like more exclusive videos, but they say it's kind of weird because then they have to like make a second YouTube channel or something, or host the videos privately, cost them some cash. But I think it would be, you know, maybe more engaging. You know, I say this a lot. You know, like Star City fired their their writers and stuff, and I think that the writers are really valuable. I think they bring a lot to the community. I think it's really important to have writers, but as someone who writes and puts a lot of effort into writing, and I make videos and I stream and I make memes on Twitter, by far the least engagement that I get is on the articles. And that's not saying that the articles aren't valuable. It's not to say that people don't get stuff out of them. It's not saying that it's not important to, but it is true. People are less interested in the articles overall. Like, people just don't like, I think in this age, people are more interested in engaging with the video content. Not saying the articles don't have a place, but I think I'm supposed to escape this into the engineered explosives, use my mana. I'm not 100% sure. So I think if I minus my Ob and then yeah, I think minusing Ob is lethal, right? Because this puts them to 3. Oh, I guess they can trade Tracker for the Den of the Bugbear, and then they go to 1, but that's fine. They also lose all of their tokens. I'm getting ensnaring bridged. Audio articles, yeah, podcast. No, you have to sacrifice the clues for the tracker to grow. Okay. So I'm out of fetchable targets, so I guess I'll hold this for Bloodghast. Not that it's probably that relevant. I like have the option for both. Yeah, I agree. I think that articles are really valuable. There's like a deep well of articles that can really help you improve as a Magic player. There's lots of players who do, like, that is how they prefer to learn. I think that the articles are important, but I also think that, like, the average Magic player likes for people to write articles. They like for their articles to exist. They'll read one occasionally, but the average, like, enfranchised Magic player don't read articles very often, in my experience and opinion. I also don't read very many either, but, you know, and, like, but, you know, maybe my situation's a little different because I'm, like, constantly engaged with the game. I'm constantly talking to people about the game. I do read some articles. I read, like, most of, like, reads. I read a lot of Evan-Gucci's. I read like basically every Paulo article too, but Paulo is just on a complete different level. Okay, so they're killing my Ob and then probably getting bridge here, so I need to draw another Ob or a Kroxa. Yeah, Frank Carson articles are great too. I am a patron to Paulo, but I think he paused. Billing. I can't remember. Do you get CFB Pro for free? Yeah, I do get CFB Pro for free. They get Elixir of Immortality. So I guess no bridge in the sideboard, huh? Wait, they've got Ranger Captain in their deck? I like articles, just don't want to pay for them. Yeah. I think that's also like a pretty common attitude, that people just want the articles to be free. And I understand that it comes from the place that they used to always be free. I think that that's like a fine take to have, but I will also say that if you're just Mayhem Devil is also lethal because I have the Verdant Catacombs. If you're just looking to spend the best value you possibly could, for Magic content, it is definitely CFB Pro at the moment. If you just want to get the best ratio of information to money. I don't have any way to kill my token, right? I just have to ++. Just make my opponent discard 2 cards. Imagine they leave themselves with just the Elixir of Immortality. Arc Rider with the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. Oh yeah, that's right. Paulo's writing on Arena Zone. Has he put his first article out there? His last article on like the five best Magic plays ever was like one of the best articles I've ever read in my entire life. It was so good. Yeah, the needle's been huge this game. They can't attack because of Spyro. I'm not sure if that's true because they get to gain 5 life off the elixir. I'm gonna block the. Wait, why didn't they attacked both at the 4 loyalty one? I guess they forgot about the Spyro. What article is that? It was an article written by the GOAT Paulo Vitor Damadurosa on his Patreon. I don't know if he's hosting it on the news site or not, but it was called like 5 best Magic plays ever. It was just a great article. I'll also say like nobody. Oh no, how am I blanking on the name? I can't believe I'm blanking on this guy's channel. I watch every single video of his, and all of his videos are so good. They're like all video essays. He just did a video on the Red Deck wins. I feel like I could tell you his name literally any other time right now. I'm just kind of blanking. Micah with the 10 months, thank you so much. What's the guy's name? The channel? Ristic Studies. I can't believe I just blanked on Ristic Studies. I'm going to be so embarrassed if... Yeah, Sam. I'd be so embarrassed if he ever sees this, because I'm a big fan. But, like, in a perfect world, like, I feel like every Magic article would be a Ristic Studies video. I don't think... I really don't... I think Sam is just, like, on a complete other level for that kind of content, to be honest. I think that he's like pretty transcendent. It's like, I mean, it's also like those videos take a long time to make. So like that's kind of the thing too. Like when you talk about these articles for the sites, like in theory, people are wanting like weekly content churned out, and like you couldn't like just hire Sam and be like, Sam, make one of these videos every week. You could maybe get one a month. But that wouldn't be a realistic thing to expect. I feel like the end of the video about the hazard misplay was unnecessary. I don't know. I mean, is any part of a video necessary? I feel like it was a good moment in history, Magic history. It was like a really painful moment to like watch live. It's a painful moment, but it's part of the game. I think opponent forgot to plus the Teferi, right? Okay, let's kill the Karn, I guess. Well, webs are great for articles. Free articles, I mean. Well, Channel Fireball does have free articles. Not as many as the pro side, but I think it's a good well for free articles. Okay, Ob goes to 1 loyalty. We still have game 3 to play if we lose this one. Yeah, Esther also really likes Ristic Study videos. I remember, like one Christmas, I showed my family the Black Lotus video. Nobody in my family plays Magic, but I showed them all the Black Lotus video, thinking they'd really enjoy it. But to be honest, they got a little bored. I don't know how though. That video is great. Okay, I guess I'll play the Devil first, and then we get to gain life. If they sack the clue token, they're dead, actually, which is kind of nice. They might not realize that, too, which is also really cool. Please sack the stupid clue token. No, there you see it. Bounces the Mayhem Devil. I'll go ahead and ping my opponent, I think. Yeah, what a game. I feel like I've just been talking about articles the entire time. How's Underdog been? It's been fine. I think that I just want like one extra like cheap creature to sack to Ob. I think the first copy is usually good to draw. I think you side it out a decent amount of the time, which is also fine. What is this? 6 mana. Ballista. Maybe they are a devoted druid deck. I think this is a game, right? Mayhem Devil. Maybe kind of a weird win. If my opponent had pinged I could just sack the devil. I can't believe we won that game. What the heck? I don't know how we outgrinded all that. Crazy. Yeah, so I mean we're currently what, like 12 and 2 with this deck. It's pretty good. My mic is in a slightly different position than it was at the old place, and it kind of blocks the chat box from my view, and I feel like I've missed some GLHFs today, so if I missed yours, I apologize. Toph, thank you for the 100 bits, appreciate you. Hopefully my Ragavan gets to hit my opponents. No, not quite that lucky. Big draw step. Let's see what we find, obviously. Running this deck in the challenge. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to play the challenge this weekend. I really just want to be done with the move and everything, and just be back to normal. But obviously that's kind of unrealistic this early. But I think that if I'm going to play a challenge this weekend, it might have to be the Sunday Pioneer one. It might be the Modern one. I'm going to try to, but I'm just not sure yet. Because like I want to play the Phoenix Shredder deck in the Pioneer Challenge. Missed earlier matches. What was the one loss to this league? It was to... Chat, help me out. I can't remember. Ooh, Shredder. I don't love double spelling into the Shredder. I think I kind of have to hammer. Was it to hammer? I think that was with the other deck. I can't remember. Is Ob better than initial expectation? I think it's good. Like, you know, my initial expectation was that Ob would be fringe playable, and oh, sorry, I needed to sack the bombardment. Obviously, I missed a point of damage. My expectation that Ob would be a fringe playable modern card, and specifically decks really built around it, which is exactly like where it is right here. So I feel like it's about as good as I expected it to be. Yeah, Shredder is symmetrical. That's also something I missed. I think a lot of people missed it when reading the new cards. I definitely is something that really has impressed me. Guess I'm taking the iteration. I think Ob or Anvil and Deck and Pioneer. I think I like the Anvil deck more than the Ob Sacrifice brew I put together, but I'm not really 100% sure. So if I escape Kroxa, my opponent is countering that 100% of the time. I think I'm going to go Unearth Ragavan, which my opponent might not counter. If they do counter this, it's okay. And then I can potentially cast the Ob, get 2/3 loyalty, but then they get to connive. So I think I'm okay just to play this tapped and pass. I don't think I want to... I mean, they also get to just attack down the Obs pretty easy. If my opponent's one mystery card is a burn spell, it's pretty bad for me. Does Shredder fit into Blue-Red Prowess deck? Are those still garb? Shredder plays really well with Lava Dart, so I think it is potentially going to be a good card to play in Blue-Red Prowess. I don't love how, like, it's not like that aggressive of a card, but it's probably an interesting option to consider. Like you would probably be like slightly different. You would be playing like Shredder Channeler, Swift Spear, Soul Scar as your threats. Maybe not Soul Scar, but yeah, I guess I'm just saying I'm not sure exactly what the threat split is. Okay, so they have Thoughtseize. Shredder is so good this game. So we have Thoughtseize. So we got Thoughtseize the counterspell. I can also just Kroxa, get the counterspell taken. I can go Thoughtseize the counterspell, go down to 9, then cast the Ob. Then this grows to probably 3 power. And then I'm going to have a 4 power Ob, a 3 loyalty Ob. It's not that good. I think I'm just going to Kroxa to make them use the counterspell. So I don't have to trigger the Shredder. And then I'm guess I'm gonna have to hope to hit like a counterspell off the or lightning bolt off the Ragavan. When you consider Shredder, do you put it back on top or put it into the graveyard? Consider Shredder. I feel like this is a pun that I am not understanding. Okay, so they're gonna play defensively against the Ragavan. This may end up working out for my favor. It's an interesting draw. I think I'm just not casting the Thoughtseize this game. Okay, so I think we just have to cash in this Ob for a Devil token. Kind of unlucky that they had a relevant spell, but it did seem like somewhat likely they were going to. They draw Murktide Regent. If I can find a 1-mana creature and get 2 life gain triggers off Ob, that's maybe how I can win this game. Okay, assuming my opponent bricked, I can go Ob, sack Devil token, ping the Channeler, make a Devil, gain life with Ob, and then sack the Devil token to the Bombardment to kill the Channeler. This only works if my opponent didn't draw a counterspell. They drew a counterspell. I guess I'm not dead, though. I'm not dead, because I can... Oh, no, this comes down with 1 loyalty. Yeah, I needed this one to resolve. Okay, we go to game 2. Okay, so let's bring in the... I think 3rd Kroxa and the Terminates. I want to cut the Underdog, 2 Mayhem Devils, 4 Thoughtseize, or maybe just play 2 Kroxa. I think I want 2 Mayhem Devils. Maybe cut the 4th Ob. Let's cut the 4th Ob. Ed, did I miss your subscription? Thank you for the 8 months. On the play, game 2. Pretty bad hand. I'm gonna mulligan, I think. Yeah, this hand's just too bad against Murktide. This hand's pretty good though. Either putting back Thoughtseize or Unlucky Witness with this hand. Let's put back the Thoughtseize. I like Unlucky Witness a lot of this matchup. Wouldn't Citrus Spire be good in this deck? So this is something a question I get asked a lot. I really actually don't like Supplier very much in this deck when I only have 6 cards that are really good to mill over. I'm not really counting Seasoned Pyromancer. When you have only 6 cards that are good to mill over with Supplier, the Bloodghast and the Kroxas, it's going to be a pretty weak card most of the time. I think that you need like 12 bare minimum, ideally more than that, of like cards that are good to mill over for a Supplier to be good in Modern. Like, I think that, like, obviously Supplier was really good in the Hogak deck, but it hasn't really been, like, playable in almost any Modern strategy outside of the Hogak deck since its banning. There's like occasionally a few decks, but you have to be, like, really, really in on graveyard strategies. Frost trying to make Heartstabber work. It's really unfinished. Yeah, I've also been kind of stuck on Heartstabber, to be honest, but I can take a look what you got. Underdog, good to mill over number 7. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about Underdog, but oh, dude, they're killing my Witness main phase. Dude, Witness is way better when your opponent's kind of like punt into it, I guess, but I love this for us. All right, let's just cast the Kroxa this turn. But yeah, we're just really far away from Supplier being good, and also like, again, what I like about this list is a lot of the cards are kind of individually strong, can kind of more individually hold their own, and Supplier is like not really one of those cards. And like that, and like the ability to like this way, playing like Seasoned Pyromancers, Ragavan, Thoughtseize, Ob Nixilis, like these cards are like way better to like let you beat Rest in Peace. Okay, Pioneer, Heartstabber, Shredder, Borrower. I feel like I want to be playing Cruise because you're playing like largely at instant speed here. You have a lot of instant speed cards. You get to be better against Narset 2. I want to have a third Delve spell. How many spells is this? 20, 28, 28, 39. Yeah, maybe do something like -1 Typhoon plus cut the cruises plus 3 dig through time is about where I'd be with this deck. And then it's kind of the awkward thing too. I found it's like I do feel like turning on Indulgence Heartstabber takes a while, and so like I was trying to figure out if there's any good 4-drops to play, but there's probably not room. It's maybe the case that you shouldn't be playing Tainted Indulgence either. Maybe we should be playing the Mire to get an extra card of the yard here. That's probably correct, but too late now. But this is pretty close to where I was at. You maybe don't need to play this many Brazen Borrowers. This is maybe too many Borrowers. You could go like -1 and play the 22nd land. Or like the extra Typhoon. Typhoon's maybe better than Borrower anyways. Okay, so they have 3 types. Their hand is Ragavan, Mystery card, Seasoned Pyromancer dying here. Love this draw. Let's go ahead and attack first. I think that my opponent's probably never blocking. Dude, we hit an Unearth? It's kind of unreal. Right, have to plus. They just take 2 though. What a good turn though. What a good turn. I like this deck a lot. I was kind of worried going into today that we would find that like our first like 9-1 record was a bit of a fluke, but it's starting to feel like that's just not the case. That this deck is just pretty good. It's obviously like still pretty early, but I the more I'm playing this deck, the more I'm liking it. Okay, so play Bombardment, ping Channeler first because they get Delirium if you ping Ragavan first. Into another Ob? Into Unearth? What the... Just have everything. they didn't I was about to Unearth the Spyro again. We still have to win game 3 though, so we can't get too cocky yet. Yeah, this or Jun Sac. I mean, they're pretty different decks. Obviously they're kind of the same archetype, but I don't know which one I could recommend to you, to be honest, yet. Okay, we can keep this on the draw against Blue-Red Murktide. Tournament Witness is really good against them. And my opponent like immediately mulls to 5. That's pretty good too. Turn 1 Channeler, Bobble. So they probably don't have Shredder in their hand. Well, maybe they do, and they just need to find second land because they're on the mold of 5. Definitely hoping I can like go turn 2 Bombardment, ping this on turn 2. Be okay if we can't, obviously. Did I call it a tournament? Dude, my brain has been like so foggy today. I don't know that I've said a single card name correct today. Excuse the brain fog, please. Okay, so we're gonna go for the Bombardment, end of turn, sack Unlucky Witness, which is a trick we learned earlier today. Unlucky, I did it again. I did it again. Too many witnesses, huh? Yeah, I called Tainted Indulgence, Tainted Remedy the entire stream. Both of these are going to be pretty good for next... Or one of these is going to be good for next turn. Is Grease Fang deck not viable Modern? I mean, like, I had, like, an okay record with it. I would say it's, like, a fine F&M deck. It's probably just, like, not quite good enough for tournament play. Okay, Relic is pretty good. I mean, Seasoned Pyromancer looting away both Kroxas seems pretty nice into this Relic. Get 3 creatures in play for bombardment. Kind of hard to pass up on here. Yeah, moving Brain Frog. Do you own most of the cards you play? No, I use a rental service. I've used Mana Traders for like maybe almost 4 years, at least 3 years. And I definitely like would not have been able to start streaming if rental services weren't a thing. Let me just kill the Shredder here. This might be a bit too much since I've got double terminate, and then maybe I can't ob, but I think I would trade 2 elemental tokens for a Shredder, and I think this is fine. I think we're enough ahead that this is fine. I could just cast the ob to. Maybe I should have exiled a Kroxa. I can just cast the ob for as just a Planeswalker, no casualty. Could put a devil token into play. I think that just getting the loyalty high is probably more relevant. If my opponent sacks the relic here, they're like Murktides are not great top decks anymore. Is there a card called Brain Fog? Yeah, Brain Fog would be my invitational card. Any thoughts on Blue-Red Wizards deck and Pioneer? I'm trying to find who to go for Delver. Yeah, so with Shredder entering the format, the deck becomes interesting. Like if you should like stick with the Wizard synergies or potentially move away from them is like something I'm not sure of. I think we could just wait here. I don't think I need to play the Thoughtseize. Do you feel the mana in Pioneer is good enough? I suppose. I guess I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. Like, I would like the ally Fastlands to be put into the format, but I don't think that the format is like not functioning without those. And outside of the ally Fastlands, it doesn't really feel like much is missing. Okay, so my opponent doesn't have another burn spell in their hand, so I should be pretty safe to fire in with Den here. Executive member with the 2 months. Thank you for resubscribing. Wait, they could have killed the Ob and they didn't? That's really weird. Like, why would you like not commit and you know, double bolt the Ob if you're gonna bolt it once? Okay, top deck iteration, obviously best draw though. Is Shredder that good? Shredder is really good. Shredder is really good, yeah. I've been preaching the truth of Ledger Shredder constantly. Playing Jund Shadow, have 2 main deck Terminate. I think that's enough to play for primary killing Murktide. I usually think that 3 Terminate in the 75 for Shadow decks is usually pretty good. That being said, if you're playing Jund Shadow, you're probably playing the new Jund Charm, right? And that card is going to give you a lot of equity against Murktide too. So I think with the new, if you're playing like 4 of the new Jund Charm, which I think you should be doing, then you can actually just play like 1 or 2 Terminates in the sideboard, and then your Murktide matchup's going to be pretty good. Poor opponent. They're like, yes, I drew my second Murktide. I've got a chance. Kill him with a draw. I mean, my opponent's going to die long before that comes up, I think. Yeah, we've still yet to ultimate the Ob. Sacking Relic, looking for Spell Pierce, but I can pay for Spell Pierce. So, not that relevant. Draws 2. So if they take 2 life from the Ob, they're dead to the Seasoned Pyromancer. They discard a relic. I think I'm still casting Seasoned Pyromancer. They're dead to any creature here. They're also just dead to me sacking Seasoned Pyromancer next turn. Okay, 4-1 that league. I'm currently 13-2 with this deck, which is pretty sick. Let's open our chests and run it back for 1 more league. Should have time today. We opened a Ragavan earlier, so no complaining.